So today we're talking about one of the films at the BFI London Film Festival 2023. It is called The Lost Boys. It's a film by Zeno Graton. Look who's here, Raj is here. My name is Phil. We are Boys on Film. Raj, it feels like I haven't seen you for weeks and I haven't actually had a chat with you about anything LFF this year, which is a bit weird.
I know, when we were talking about our schedules and what we're seeing lots of different films separately.
We're really split up this year, and of course we got no Sean because Sean's not doing it, so it's just me and you, but we're not going to any screenings together. We're choosing to see those different movies, and yeah, it's quite a different experience this year. I miss you, Raj.
Oh, I miss you too. I keep saying, get a ticket to this, and you're like, I'm seeing this already, so...
I'm going through all the horrors, all the thrillers, and you're going for the stuff that's probably going to be really successful. A lot of those films are, seem to be the hot tickets. I'm choosing all the independent ones.
I do have good taste, Phil.
So we're talking about The Lost Boys today, which is filmed by Zeno Graton. It stars Khalil Ben Gharbia, Julien De Saint Jean, who I saw in a film called Lie With Me just a few weeks ago. So this is quite a slow burn, isn't it?
Yeah, actually. It was kind of like a bird's eye view into a youth juvenile center in France, which, if you ask me, looked very nice. I really enjoyed the film. Yeah, it is a bit of a slow burn all the way throughout, but I don't know, I felt myself really drawn in, and I really liked the side characters as well, the other inmates,
Yeah.
And their little stories that went along with it. I don't know, I just really enjoyed it.
It's about Joe, who is played by Khalil Ben Gharbia. He's preparing to leave that youth detention centre. And we've got that newcomer who is William, who I saw playing a role in Lie With Me, which was such a fantastic film. Julien De Saint Jean, who I think is really good. And I think Khalil Ben Gharbia is really good. So I think the acting across the board, I mean, you mentioned, the supporting cast, I think, do a really good job of kind of playing alongside these two main characters. But it is essentially about them two, isn't it?
Yeah, and for me, what really was the main central theme throughout the movie is when he's talking to his, I guess, youth judge who decides his fate, whether he stays or gets to leave the detention center. She says that, freedom is a paradox, and, if you want freedom, you have to obey the rules. And if you don't obey the rules, you don't have freedom. I think that was mainly what I got out of the movie, outside of being slice of life, slow burner, very homoerotic, obviously. But yeah, I kind of that bit stuck with me throughout the film, and I was like, oh, okay, that's the point that's being driven home here, and I kind of really like that. I like it when films do that they take a message and just really expand upon it.
Absolutely, yeah, it's meaningful. There is a purpose to that script, I think. It's not just kind of fly on the wall stuff. There's a real meaning to these two characters and the relationship that develops. And it is a very slow burn relationship build as well. You mentioned the homoeroticism. There is a cross-country race that they're all doing, and they go out and then the storm starts and you've got rain coming down. And so they're in the woods and they find a secret place to go. So, but I guess that could have been a bit more full on, but it's not. It's quite romantic in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it's not Sauvage level of homoeroticism.
No. I still haven't seen that, but I need to see that. I remember you reviewing that. Was it last year or maybe the year before?
I just really enjoyed the film. I really felt enveloped into their world, and I felt like maybe I was a little inmate, and I was thinking to myself what would I be put in here for? Would I have stabbed someone? Would I have,
bad reviews? Bad movie reviews.
I gave him a 1-star review.
It's funny, as soon as Joe came on the screen, I just thought to myself, wow, that is the dead spit of someone I used to live with at art school. His name was John, but he was this dead spit. It was so bizarre. I just kept thinking of him.
Yeah, this is a Peccadillo Pictures release, so
yeah.
Obviously it has a dedicated fan base who love art house, queer film, and I think it fits right nicely in their little portfolio of films. So yeah, I would definitely kind of see this again.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I thought the performances were good. I liked the story. I liked the fact that it wasn't predictable either. It went in directions that I didn't think it was going to go in, because right at the beginning you see that I think there is talk that William has stabbed someone. That's the reason why he's in there. And I just thought, it's going to be that kind of film where it's going to be quite violent. There's going to be a lot of homophobia, but it didn't tend to go off in those directions. I'm glad about that, because it did feel quite refreshing.
Yeah, there's a really moving scene. Maybe it's towards the middle of the movie where they're expressing themselves through, I guess, rap lyrics or song lyrics.
Oh, yes, round the table, they're all doing their songs, aren't they, and poetry.
Yeah, that was some powerful filmmaking right there.
I wrote down notes actually saying that was probably the thing that I've taken away. That's the thing that I really remember.
Yeah, and then you really got to know like the other characters, throughout that little sequence. So, all in all, this film was very well written. This just enveloped me and gave me a big warm hug and said, "Welcome to our world."
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it? Because you think, or you tend to forget that people in detention centres or people in prison, the relationships that they build whilst they're in there and they're not living their normal life. And this, I think, gave you an insight into that. There's a life inside as well as outside.
Did you find yourself, like, rooting for Joe and wanting him to make the right decisions?
Absolutely. And I guess there were times when things didn't go that well, and I was feeling quite frustrated by that, because you do want to root for them, that you understand their frustrations to a certain extent. I mean, that poetry scene that you talked about where they're singing their songs, because that's a way of them expressing their emotions, isn't it? And there's one guy who starts it all off, and I think he's a little bit embarrassed by some of the wording, and he's encouraged that that's a good thing, and that really touched my heart, actually. I found that quite moving.
Yeah. I mean, it gives you some insight too. I mean, I don't know how realistic like this is to like real juvenile detention centers, but like the staff that were working there and the actors that played them like really gave a lot of heart and attention and fostered these kids a bit to help them make the right decisions. Ultimately, their fate is in their own hands. But I thought like even the actors playing the support staff were amazing. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4. Actually, definitely a solid 4 for me.
Yeah, same for me. I thought it was really good, and again, I would see it again. I think actually second time round, there's probably stuff in there that you missed first time, or I think it's quite a complex film in a lot of ways. Even though it is a slow burn, I think it's quite deep. So it's called The Lost Boys. Let me know if you've seen it at the BFI London Film Festival. Let me know if you've been to the festival, seen anything that you loved, what was your takeaway from it. And thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll be back soon for another review of the London Film Festival.